Mele and Kure were here on Midway in the boathouse in their cages, and we took care of them for a few days until they could get onto the kahana, which is a research vessel. So the crew here on Midway were awesome in helping us crane them over onto the ship. Where they would just hang out, Mele and Kure would just hang out in their cages on deck and for the voyage to Kure, which the voyage to Kure is a 5-hour trip, but we have to wait overnight for daylight, so we always want to make sure that the seals are okay, they're not overstressed or any objects or whatever getting in their way. So we would have 2-hour watches and switch out through the team, and everyone was great helping to participate through the night. And Mele and Kure were just fine, they had no issues. When we got to Kure, we decided to offload Mele and Kure first thing because we had pretty, I wouldn't say bad weather, but it was definitely lots of swell, and we wanted them to be as safe as possible. So we decided to offload them first when the swell was at its lowest, which required moving Mele and Kure from their cages into extra large dog kennels individually, which was fun because they had no idea what was going on, and we had merged the cage and the dog kennel together, and they kind of usually would just go into the dog kennel, but since this is unusual circumstances, I used some of their food to lure them in, which definitely worked out. We had to crane her from the boat in the dog kennel onto the small boat. So the ship's the small boat. And then they just hung out in their dog kennels on the beach until we could bring the pen supplies on shore.
Okay, roger that.
On Kure, we had to build a pen. The reason why we built a pen for Mele and Kure is because it was new surroundings. They came from rehab facility to the wide open space. So we wanted them to get acclimated to their new beach home, which is why they're in a pen. They were supplied with water and fish for the few days that they were in their pen, so that had to be set up really nice. They also had a shade covering, lots of airflow to make sure they were comfortable. Brenda, myself, and a couple other volunteers helped to build the pen. It was, 20 feet circumference circle. We just used chain link fence and poles with bungee cords to make it nice and secure. Nothing inside the pen that the seals could get into in any dangerous way, and covered it halfway with a shade cloth. So we released the girls into the pen, and they're just going to be hanging out there until they're ready to be released out into the ocean. Well, I personally was relieved to have the mission completed. I was with Mele and Kure when they were picked up from Kure and Lay Sand back in September, so to see them grow up and become from malnourished to extremely healthy seals just made me feel great, like we did something fantastic to help these two females who didn't really have a good shot back in September. So to see them in their pen and see how large they've gotten and how healthy they've gotten is a huge accomplishment to me and to my team. We just couldn't be happier that they're there, and just, as I said, feel relieved that everything went, safely and smoothly as possible.